welcome to my humble abodes. This is lesson 1, and I really want to lay out the mindset that I think you need to have as a photographer and somebody who is editing in Lightroom. And I just want to point out really quickly, I'm going to try to keep the camera angles to a minimal, so maybe 2 different angles, and then my screen. I like using drawings, and they're not the best drawings. They're pretty sucky, but they will hopefully get the point across. You'll see a few of them in a second here. All right, so I want to, like I said, lay out the mindset for this video. Mindset, photography, and editing your photos. And there are 4 points that I want to go over. Okay, I'm going to read them off of this chart up here because I don't have it memorized. But subjectivity of art is the first point. Embracing stereotypes, growth through imitation, and then comparison as a diagnostic tool. Those are the 4 points that I want to talk about. Okay, so subjectivity of art. This one is pretty obvious. Art is subjective. It doesn't matter what other people think of it. It's art. You can do whatever you want. Take a look at this this stick man. Is this good art? I don't think it's good art. That stick man has, kind of a long neck, but somebody who's creating a horror game, maybe they want the stick man with the long neck, and then it would look amazing in that game because it fits the vibe. It fits what that person is trying to go for. So art is super subjective. Obviously, when it comes to editing your photos, there's some directions that you can go that'll make it like unrealistic and almost ugly, like oversaturated photos. Generally, that's not a good thing. You don't want to go too far. So just be careful on that. And then vignetting, and there's a bunch of stuff. We'll go over it later. But to move on to the second point, embracing stereotypes. Okay, so embracing stereotypes. What do I mean by that? Take a look at these stars here. Look, focus. I did not come up with a pattern to create these stars. I found somebody else who knew the pattern, and I copied what they did. And they copied somebody else. And the reason they copied somebody else and the reason I copied him is because the star looks good. And I think when it comes to photography and editing your photos, there are designated ways to make your photos look good. And maybe they don't fit your style specifically, but dipping your toes, I use that term a lot, dipping your toes into these places that are for sure going to look good is a good thing to do. And not just in editing your photos, but also like in the places that you shoot, like let's say golden hour or the stereotypical like locations to shoot beautiful photos. Like go to those places, edit your photos in a way that everybody's gonna be like, everybody else's photo looks like that already. It's okay to do that. And the reason I say this is because when you're starting off, you don't really know what counts as good. You don't really know what camera position you don't really know where your camera needs to be in order to capture the perfect angle. You don't really know the settings that you need to have in Lightroom to have your photo edited properly. So copy other people's styles. It's worth it. I think that you'll end up learning a lot through it. And that's what we'll be doing here. I'll be showing you some of the ways that you can copy other people's styles. Moving on to point 3, growth through imitation. This is similar, but this is similar to embracing stereotypes, but this is more specifically for a style, imitating somebody's style. So, for example, I really love James Popsy, and lately I've been trying to copy his style almost. I've been getting clear open skies, I've been getting lighter highlights, like very soft photos, right? And vibrant colors. So I'm trying to copy his style and imitate that to kind of understand not really the stereotypical things that make a photo look good, but what makes his photos specifically look good. And a lot of times he's using these guidelines to help him create these good photos. So in a way, he's also following these stereotypes, but he's integrated his own style into it. And that is what we're copying, his style. So if you want to grow as like somebody with their own unique style, which we'll talk about later, imitating others is a good idea. All right, the 4th point, comparison as a diagnostic tool. So this falls into everything that we were just talking about. When you take a photo and you're like, is this a good photo? Is this a good piece of art? Hold on. Is this a good piece of art? Is this a good photo? You can compare it to what other people have created, right? If your photo has a bunch of clipped highlights in it and you compare it to a photo that has not clipped highlights, then you'll be able to see the difference between a good photo and maybe your photo, which might be a bad photo, which is okay. Take lots of bad photos. I have thousands of bad photos. But the point is, you can compare your photos with others, and there's a way that you can do it without destroying your life and feeling envious and horrible about yourself all the time. You need to recognize that you will take bad photos, and that other people started with bad photos and now have gotten to the point where they are and taking good photos. And so go ahead and compare yourself almost to these people and their progress. This will help speed things up. This will help you recognize where you need to go, what differences you need to make in your photo, and then the way that you shoot your stuff. Okay, that's the end of lesson 1. Let's move on to lesson 2.